Alright, this question says, Madison creates a batch of orange paint by mixing 1 pint of red paint with 1.5 quarts of yellow paint. How many more gallons of yellow paint does she need to add to the mixture to produce a 2-gallon batch of orange paint? And then they want us to express our answer as a common fraction. Alright, so how do we approach this? So for this question, it's basically telling us to make orange paint, Madison is using red paint and yellow paint in a certain ratio, a certain fixed ratio of 1 pint of red paint to 1.5 quarts of yellow paint. But I'd like you to notice here that there's something tricky that they do, is that they don't use the same units. The red paint is 1 pint, whereas the yellow paint is 1.5 quarts. So if we want a ratio like this, we want their units to be the same, because we can't just say the ratio red paint to yellow paint is 1 to 1.5, because the units are different. So we know that there are 2 pints in a quart. 2 pints equals 1 quart. So clearly, our pint is the smaller unit. So we can convert our 1.5 quarts to pints, because we know there's 2 pints per quart. So our yellow paint in pints is going to be 1.5 times 2 equals 3 pints of yellow paint for every 1 pint of red paint. So now we have our ratio of yellow to red paint, it's 3 to 1, and it's asking, how many more gallons of yellow paint does Madison need to add to the mixture to produce 2 gallons of orange paint? Okay, how many pints are in a gallon? 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So if 1 gallon is 4 quarts and 1 quart is 2 pints, a gallon is going to be equal to 4 times 2 equals 8 pints. 1 gallon equals 8 pints. Alright, so she needs to make a 2-gallon batch of orange paint. We know that 1 gallon is 8 pints, so she needs to make 16 pints of orange paint. How many pints has she made so far? This right here is what she's made so far. That's 4 pints total. 4 pints orange. So how many do we have left? We have 12 pints left. So it's asking, how many more gallons of yellow paint does she need to add to the mixture to produce that? So she needs to add 12 pints total left. It's asking, how many of those 12 pints are yellow? Since our yellow to our red is a 3 to 1 ratio, we know that if we were to add this ratio again, 3 pints plus 1 pint, 3 pints of yellow plus 1 pint of red, that would be another 4 pints. And if we were to do that again, 3 pints of yellow plus 1 pint of red, that would be yet another 4 pints. And the reason this works out is because we need to make another 12 pints. So if we just do this 3 times, where we add a batch of 3 pints of yellow and 1 pint of red 3 times, now we have made 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12 pints, 12 additional pints of orange paint. So that's exactly what we need. Now, if you notice, this right here, this total is going to be 16 pints. But we already had this amount, so we're only counting the additional paint we're adding, because it's asking for how much more yellow paint. So out of this section right here, the amount of additional yellow paint she needs to add is, 3 plus 3 plus 3. Adding these up, we find that she needs to add 9 pints of yellow paint. But that's not our final answer, because it's asking, how many more gallons does she need to add? So if she needs to add 9 pints, and there are 8 pints in a gallon, we just multiply this by our conversion factor of 1 gallon per every 8 pints. And so that tells us that she needs to add 9/8 gallons to make 2 gallons of orange paint.